Making of the pickle is a very important thing that happens in Punjab. One day, always in the winter, is set aside to make a whole bunch of pickles. And the little town of Kotkapura is no different. With us is Mr. Amritpal Singh Nakai, who's going to be telling us how to make this beautiful pickle for which the ingredients are all set out over here.
I love the winters, especially in Punjab, because this is when all these pickles come out. There's carrots, there's radishes, there's turnips, there's lime, there's amka, achaar, mango pickle.
The good news for Mayur is that today we're going to have pork pickle. But after chicken and fish, obviously we move on to pork. The good part about being in Punjab and making pickle though is it's never just made for yourself. It's made, a whole bunch of it is made, and then it's sent out to relatives, to friends, and everybody can feast and have a party. So you have lots of different kinds of pickles.
Yeah, us vegetarian relatives and friends are really excited about the pork pickle that's going to be handed out.
Pickle in hot oil, wait for no man. So we're going to quickly go across and start frying the meat, and we'll tell you a little bit more about it. And Mr. Nakai is going to be telling us how this whole thing is going to be done, but not before we fry the meat. So it's obviously fried so that all the moisture can be completely taken out of it.
Partly dehydrated, and that's why meat can be only preserved in winters. You can't preserve it in summers.
Right. That's why it's pickled. Even if it was pickled, would it be preserved in summer or no?
No, in summers it can't because there's always a water content inside.
Nice simple start. Those pieces of pork, and there's a whole lot of them over there, are boiled, they're taken out, and then put into a hot oil wok where as much moisture as can be done is drawn out of them, subsequent to which we'll tell you the process as it goes on. But remember this, meat never truly dehydrates completely. So the best time to make and eat meat pickle is in the winter.
I wouldn't know anything about this. The best time to eat pickle is every time you eat a meal. Rock, you want to tell us what's behind you?
Well, the meat is fried in mustard oil.
Right.
Then after the frying of meat, then we fry the onions.
Right.
So when the onions are brown, then we put in the garlic and ginger. And then after the garlic and ginger are done, then we put in the haldi, the lal mirch, and the salt.
And then once the masala is ready, then we're going to add in the...
Then we add the meat again into it and add the vinegar.
Lovely.
And you fry it some more?
A little bit for another 5-10 minutes after the vinegar is put in. Vinegar is also slightly dehydrated, not to that extent.
Okay.
And then it's done after that.
And this is just regular black vinegar?
Regular black.
Take a sip.
So we'll quickly go through the ingredients once again. The boiled pork is now being fried to get the moisture out. Over here we have onions, turmeric, red chilies, garam masala, these wonderful mustard seeds, whole dried chilies, garlic, ginger, salt, 4 bottles of vinegar, and those are empty.
So many pungent things, it brings tears to the eyes.
And get this, not 1, not 2, but 10 kilos of pork, which are going to be -2 by the time I'm done.
In the olden days, especially, you didn't have deep freezers, you didn't have, methods of preserving meat or anything. Farmers or people were fond of hunting, and winters was the hunting season. So they used to hunt and then preserve the meat by pickling it. It started off with the wild boar pickling. So wild boar was also a menace for the farmer.
Right.
And then it was in abundance. So the wild boar was hunted in winters and pickled.
Pickled immediately.
So you removed it as a pest and you got food out of it.
And you got food.
2 birds or 1 boar with 1 stone. So in the olden days, if you saw somebody walk down the street with like a gun and a wok and some spices hung here, you knew he was going to go and hunt his wild boar and go pickling it. Asterisks and obliques, take note.
The final batch of pork is now fried and is ready to be taken out. Come here, take a look at this.
Next step is we are going to fry the onions.
Just put the whole thing in.
Rocky's going to put the onions in carefully so that he doesn't burn himself.
The street does give you a great education. When you're cooking with a big wok with hot oil in it, never put the onions straight in. You have to put them on the side so they can slide in. Is there a coordination amongst family right now that you'll make the 10 kilos of pork and send it out and somebody else will make aam ka achaar and somebody else will make...
Yeah. Well, the coordination is my mother makes all the vegetable pickles.
Right.
And I make the non-veg.
And then there's a little trade that goes on. The onions are about done. They've been fried crisp. The garlic paste has gone in and now the ginger paste is going in as well.
Let's add some color to the colorless existence of this pig so far. Mayur is learning to make meat pickle.
Here goes the dhania powder.
That's coriander. That's the complicated name for dhania powder.
With these masalas in, now we got some pork stock line. So that stock is added slowly into it. So the water evaporates.
Right, just the fat and the stock that's left over. And that brings out the flavor a little bit more. Here's a fine cooking tip for those of you who want to make this pickle at home. After you're done boiling the pork and a little bit of water is left, keep that water with you. After a few hours, it'll evaporate and this gluey, gummy kind of paste will be formed with the leftover stock. That must go in to bring out the flavor.
Now we put in the meat immediately after that. Now the salt also.
So here we go. Now we grab the vinegar bottles. The process starts off a little slowly, but once everything starts going in, then it kind of speeds up a little, and you have to be careful when you put in what. You don't want to overcook or undercook anything. Oh man, that smells really good.
Round and round she goes where she stops.
And now we put in the dried red chilies right over the top.
Whole, not powdered, not crumpled.
This pork pickle, even though right now it's not quite ready, like we were told, 48 hours for the flavors to soak in. But I can tell you this, looking at this young pickle, which is going to age beautifully into a work of art, this one's going to be a beauty. It's tangy, it's spicy, the flavors are phenomenal, and that pork just adds it. I think the stock that we put in really brings out the flavor already. So our show, as you know, is not just about the food. It's also about giving you an education. So I want to thank Mr. Amritpal Singh Nikai for taking out the time and allowing us to be part of this wonderful Punjabi tradition of making pickles in the winter and eating them quickly.
And remember, for all of you that are watching, Punjab is not just about chicken and pork and fish. There is a lot of